All right, so welcome back. This is where the magic happens behind the scenes, and I already went through the grueling process of making my selections through Lightroom, so you don't have to suffer through that. I did only select 5 exposures that we're going to be combining in Photoshop today. At first, I was thinking that we would use the base exposures that we shot, but that doesn't look like it really needs to be the case. So let's just dive right in, and I'll show you how I would put something like this together. For the 3 exposures that I chose, is going to be this little bit of mist, the medium mist, and then the large amount of mist. And then I have a splash on the right side, and then an overall splash on both sides that I really liked, that we're going to try to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rename these files and just sort of organize everything, so I don't start going crazy. There's 3. And then we'll call this one splash 1, splash 2, in the splash group. Okay. So now there's a few ways to sort of align these files, and if we're going to use the auto align feature in Photoshop, that sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So what I like to do, just to make sure that everything is going to line up correctly, is I'm just going to put it on a difference layer and then just move things around. Make sure my labels are lined up, which it looks like they are. Go to the next one. Even though we didn't really touch the camera, there still is a little bit of movement. And some parts are okay. All we really care is for this edge here. And then, let's see, the splash isn't really going to need to be aligned, other than to, just to kind of move things in the general area. I'm looking at the bottom here and making sure that that's in place. And on this one, where's my edges? Yeah, I think I might be able to actually, it's a little closer to the camera, looks like, so make it a little more skinny. And that should do that. Put this on normal. And some of these I might not use. I think the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to check my alignment, make sure there's very little movement. Looks like there was a little bit, so I'm going to put this on difference. I'm going to move this one over just a skosh. Boom. And let's see, what did that do? Good. Okay, so I like that medium amount of mist. How does that look? That looks nice, but on a screen you can barely tell it's there. So I might not actually use this. Okay. And then the medium mist I like. And a large amount looks pretty good too. I think, what I'll do is I'll blend in the large amount of the condensation for this lower half of the can. Let's see. Before I do that, I think what I'm going to want to do is do my knockout. And I like to try to avoid using the pen tool as much as possible when I have something that's contrasty like this. Hopefully I can just use a channel mask. If not, we'll have to get down and dirty with the pen tool. So let's do that. And there's different ways to do this. Basically, I'm gonna find which layer is the most contrasty, which looks like my red layer. Make a copy. Do I want to invert it? Yes, I want to invert it and then make my levels. Make my levels more white. Basically get this to exactly where I want it to be. Get lasso and carefully go around. I'm running out of mouse pad. Whoa, that was close. Okay, invert that, fill it with black. Invert it again, get a brush. And let's start painting with white. Oops. You'll hear me say that a lot. I don't do it on purpose, but I try to control Z more than I should. I'll knock something over in the kitchen or something and break something and just try to control Z my way out of it. Hasn't worked yet. Oops. That's pretty good. We could always modify this mess. That's just a piece of dust on my screen, which I should have probably cleaned. Maybe what I'll do is I'll switch to black and I'll finish doing this. Oops. And boom. If you look at that, we have basically invert that, and do I want to do this destructively or non-destructively? Probably non-destructively. Invert that. And grab that again. Invert that. Okay, so for this top can, this is kind of distracting, so I'm going to turn that off. How do I want to do this? I want to kind of go I want to keep most of this area and then just kind of do a gradient down. So what I'll do is I'll grab a gradient and then just basically swipe up on my mask layer. Then grab myself a brush, black brush. Make sure it's all nice and, I want to do my lower flow, maybe hardness down. That looks pretty good. I like that. Like it a lot. So now what? Well, on this layer, I'm probably going to want to bring in some of this, not all of it, but some of this splash from behind the bottle, but kind of falls apart. Yeah, because there's not really a reflection in the splash. So, Control Z my way out of this. And then I think I'll probably just end up erasing a lot of this, get my hand out of there. Of course, doesn't work with the low flow. Then on this one, erase my hand out of there again. Actually, I like that. Might want to be careful with what I'm doing here. Okay. So, one of the challenges that I can already sort of see is that I want to separate that water splash from the background. And one of the mistakes that I made was that I shot the splash on a white background, which means my highlights are the same as the background color. So the image is really going to fall apart should the client ever want to change the background color. We can deal with this sort of as a white background and clean it up that way, but yeah, this is a mistake that I'm seeing. That, it happens, and just so you know. So let's try to make this splash look good. Just getting rid of my hand there. Get rid of this area. I don't want it. This area too. This gets me every time. I have to go past the edge. Okay, what's going on here? I think what I did was I accidentally tried to get that out, so I'm gonna bring that back in. Now what can I do to this splash? I think what I'm going to want to do is it's going to look really awkward if I try to select it with the quick select tool. I really don't want to try to pen tool this out. So I think what I'll try to do, I'll try another channel mask and I'll burn the area and then invert the mask and try to just sort of super overexpose this background over here. So RGB doesn't matter because it's black and white. I can't tell the difference. Maybe you can. Where is it? Burn. Let's go midtones, 70%, 60, and yeah. In theory, this should work, but as we know, it's always a good idea at the time until we actually try to make a video. Like those, I don't know if I'll keep those ones, but I'm liking that on this side. I like what's going on down here. Bring that up. That's kind of a cool, interesting way that the water formed. I like how contrasty that is. Just looks cool, you know. That up there. What's going on there? So, invert it. Make it darker? No. I think I'll do that. Open up the levels. See about maybe right there. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, I don't want a pure black and white. I think that's what I want. Okay, click OK, select that, and on this splash layer, let's see, try to erase, yeah. Try to erase this area without getting too much into our splash. Maybe even desaturate some of this. that's what that kind of looks like. And as you can see, if we, let's say, let's create a new layer, fill it with black, the image just really falls apart. But if we fill it with white, then it looks pretty good. In fact, we can make it look a little bit cooler. I'm going to add curves on here, maybe bump it up, no, bump it down, yeah, make it a little more contrasty. Do I like this? I'm seeing this area in here that's a different color. It's kind of pinkish. Maybe I'll come back to that. So I'm gonna not get distracted. I'm gonna do the same process here on this one. Because what if we have both? Splash one. Let me add a mask on here. And get my brush. Paint it black. Go ahead and reveal this area. In fact, let's not reveal that. In fact, let's erase that. That was on splash one. Maybe we'll just move it, you know? Maybe not. Okay. Should be okay. What's that splash? Basically, yeah. Because if we don't have that, I kind of like this splash a little better actually. But this one is more oomph to it. So maybe on splash 2 let's see if this works. Let's transform, flip horizontal, and then drag it over here. Yep. And then open up this guy. That looks pretty cool. Yeah? What do you guys think? I'll bring this a little closer. No, we'll keep it there. This is kind of bothering me, this little area down here, so I'm going to paint in more of the original layer before this. So I don't really like that either. So maybe what I'll do is just kind of, soft, what do I do? Okay. Just softly bring that in. And softly take that out. softly take that out. Oh man, this is getting like whack-a-mole here. That's okay. We're gonna crop this out anyway. So on this layer, let's grab our red. I'm just going to call this splash 2, and this one was splash 1. Get my burn tool. 60% midtones. Yeah. I don't know how much of these I want to keep in. That's not what I want. I don't want those becoming midtones too, so maybe I will dodge those ones with 100% exposure. Actually, this might work pretty good. Saturation, just pull the saturation out. Our curves, we can probably bring down a bit more. That looks pretty cool. There's too much splash on the right side, so let's move that over a bit. I'm trying to move my curves. Come on, guys. I don't want to move that. Come on, guys. You're embarrassing me. And this one, bring it over here a little bit. Maybe I'll get rid of that in the back there. There's too much. I kind of want to burn some of that some more. And I am seeing some stuff that I don't want. In fact, this whole can use some dodging. Maybe not 100%. Let's go halfway. There we go. Too much. May have been a little too much. Let's bring some of it down. So if I go too much, that's just not going to look right. Levels. That ain't going to be it. I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and erase in finer detail. Flow, redness. All these little imperfections. Like I said, I made a big mistake when I shot the splash on the background that I did. Made it a lot harder to knock out. All I'm looking to do is just get rid of the splotchy grayness that's in between these little details. Like, you probably can't even see it on your screen. But I sure can. So fine. It's like 1% gray right there. Oops. Is this something I want to take out? Probably not. Get rid of some of those. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do now is finish it off with, I'm going to crop it out, maybe fix a little bit of the horizon there I see is kind of splotchy, and then just add a little bit of some secret sauce or some sharpening to make it just really pop and give it that extra oomph. And then we're pretty much done. So let's get to that now. So what I'm going to do, Control-Alt-Shift-E, merge visible, move this all the way up. Come on, you can do it. Do this, go over there. Move this, go over there. Punch 2. You can kind of go over there. Clear my horizon. Control-Alt-Shift-E. Merge it. And then, let's see, I have an action set up here. I just call it secret sauce, and I basically run that real quick. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but it basically made all of these water droplets a little more sharp. And that's the original image. This one is basically a little bit of sharpening, and then this one adds it a little bit more. And all I really did was go to filter, where is it? Sharpen, unsharp mask, and then did 150 over a radius of 1. And then I ran it again as 45 over 15. And I find that that tends to give the image a pretty good amount of crispness to it. So what I'm going to do, go fixed ratio 1:1. Maybe start from up here, come down there. That looks about good. What am I doing? Center it up just like that. I'm going to copy that, and what I tend to do is I just make a new layer with my clipboard. I paste it onto here just so I have a little bit of separation, and bam, that's our image. If you made it to the end, boy, you're a trooper. I can't imagine how long this video must be. Oh, there's one more thing we have to do. This is almost complete, but it's not complete until we actually finish the subject. That's good stuff right there. I think it's more special because of the work involved in creating this image. But so that's our image. That's the process. Like I said, we could have done things a little bit differently, and next time we might just be able to do that. Thanks for joining, and if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear from you.